So now I will show you something you have never witnessed before.
This woman claims to be pregnant with a half-alien baby. We met up in an undisclosed location as she told us her story and showed us a supposed picture of her baby. Watch this and decide for yourself.
Hello everyone, my name is Mary. I can't tell you in which country I am right now because this might be dangerous for myself. Today I'll share some shocking information with you while giving you real proofs on it. Let me start from the very beginning. I was 18 years old and a student studying in one of the universities in Paris when one of my professors noticed me. His name was Paul Marteau and he offered me a job at the laboratory. By the way, I was studying chemistry. He didn't exactly specify what the lab was. I have been working there for 2 years and my job was quite simple, separating and numbering samples and specimens. There were many rooms in that lab, but one of them was closed for regular workers. Only a limited number of people knew what was going on there. I won't tell you the whole story, let me just jump into the interesting parts. Since I am a very adventurous and brave person myself, I decided to visit that room one day. My supervisor had an electronic card with which he used to open that door, and during lunch break I stole his card and entered the forbidden room. It was a huge space filled with wires and cables, glassware of different shapes that had various liquids in them. There was a metal chair right in the middle of the room, to which an uncountable number of wires were connected. The whole room was making different electric sounds. I was walking around the room, staring at things, while suddenly a heavy hand grabbed my shoulder. I turned around and saw Professor Paul Marteau. He got very angry at first, but then he calmed down and he decided to offer me a new job as a time machine operator's assistant. I didn't quite understand him at first, thought it was some kind of a joke. He clarified that whatever I saw in the room was a time machine called the Iron Mask. Not to go into many details, from that day on I started working in that room. We were sending people off to the future with that time machine. There were military servants, scientists, experts. Everyone was studying the whereabouts and happenings of the future. Turns out time machines have been around since the 1970s, but a protocol has been signed worldwide banning time traveling and any machines of such kind, even for scientific study purposes. Our time machine was working on electricity and radio waves. We were going on various expeditions into the future with different tasks. Usually we would stay there for 1 hour with our time measure, and in future, however, this accounts for 3-4 days. The understanding of time is deformed in future, and now the main part of the story. I was already 1 year into working as an assistant machine operator in that room, and where I had gained my fair share of trust and love from the co-workers, and I asked the team supervisor to send me off to the future with the squad to gather plant samples and for study purposes. I really wanted to see the future and with my own eyes witness all of the happenings there, and this was the best opportunity I could get. The squad was made of 20 people, of which 14 were military servants. He decided to send us off to the year 3500. So far, we have only traveled up to the year 2900, and this was going to be a great risk. By the way, the year 2900 looked like paradise. It was filled with greens and plants. I thought the same would go for the year 3500, but even better. And, well, we were yet to witness another shock. The world had turned into a war zone. Buildings were destroyed, plants and greens were burned down to ashes. War was going on between humans and aliens, and it was painful. It was painful remembering all of this. I can't even go into details. Those aliens were from the Andromeda galaxy, and people got lucky that they were just a little more developed than humans. Therefore, the fight was going on equal terms. Since there was a strong radioactive and magnetic wave in the year 3500, we couldn't get back to the present. To be exact, we spent a whole year there. We joined a community of people there who were fighting against aliens. During one of those fights, our community lost and the aliens took us into hostage. I won't get into details on what happened there because the pain, humiliation, and torture we went through was inhumane. I was the only one who survived, but I was there and I was their slave. I had no idea how I got so lucky and suddenly I appeared at home. Turns out I've been missing only 3 months, which in the future was a little over a year time in our measure. Now, here's the shocking news. All what I've told you took place in 2019 while I came back from the future 7 days ago. When I was back to 2019, everyone was scared when they saw me. I couldn't take it anymore, so I went back to my room, gathered my stuff, and ran off. So now I will show you something you have never witnessed before. My doubts were right. I am pregnant from an alien. 5 months from now, I will give birth to a child who will be a mix of a human and an alien from the Andromeda galaxy. I don't know what to do. I can't even imagine the solution to this. I can only imagine if people at my lab found out about this. The torture and humiliation that I would go through along with my child with their experiments would be just excruciating. Anyhow, thank you for your attention. I will keep my contact with ApexTV until the child is born and they will keep you posted. Stay safe.
What do you think? Is this woman really pregnant with an alien? She promised to show us her half-alien baby when it's born. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next video. Peace out.